Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Oh, it's up here. Whoops. Okay, so we'll add a new layer and we'll call this. Oh, whoops. You know what I forgot to do? So forgetful sometimes. Gotta do this as well. There we go. Okay. I believe that's everything now. So, how exactly are we looking now? I'm gonna rename this to I'll just name it line work. Also, I think my voice is a little high. Okay, I think I'm gonna just turn it down just a tad bit. Hello. Okay, I think that'll work for the time being. Testing that out before we keep going here. And then we'll switch over to my favorite type of pen that I usually use. For inks, usually I use the Lub pen as my basic pen when filling in my line work. Testing 1 2 3. Okay, now my voice sounds a little too soft. Okay. Maybe 17 is the best way of going about this. I hate this pen. Right there. Is that too loud? I think that's too loud. It's always the start of the stream. Especially with music in the background, you can never tell. Okay, so the music sounds a bit more louder again, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just... Hello! Okay, that's a little too much. I think I'll stay on 17. 17 should be the perfect balance. But, oh yeah. There we go. This going. And get this going. Okay. Now, let's continue. Whoops, wrong thing. IPS is over here. So my plan today is to mainly just hopefully finish up the line work That is the plan today, at least. I highly doubt we'll be getting done with the coloring and shading, as that's gonna take some time. I guess I could always do a simple brown fusion. I guess I could do brown, but I think for the hairstyle, I'm gonna do a bit of yellow. Who knows, maybe we might get done with it today, but either way. So... Okay. That's way too much. How about 5? I'm gonna go down to 1.5. So 1 to... that might be too small. Maybe I should stick at 3 for this one. Okay. Okay, what does 5 look like? Typically I use 1.5 as my thing usually. So I'm not used to going into these deeper ones. Yeah, I look so weird. Let's tone it down a bit. What does 4.5 look like? That doesn't look... I think I can work with that. Okay. This is definitely gonna be a... This is gonna be a challenge, alright. I've never done line work on my computer before. I've usually only done it on my phone. And this stylus of mine isn't exactly perfect. I can tell this is definitely gonna be a process, that's for sure. Okay, I think the best way of going about this is in one line swoop, because if my pen's not gonna be reacting with me all the way, I might have to go in one swoop lines. God dang. The goddamn blotches it leaves behind is kinda infuriating. Guess I'll just have to deal with it for now. Unfortunately, I came up here hoping to find a pen, but unfortunately, they didn't have what I wanted. Sorry, unusual. I'm not taking art requests. I usually just draw what I feel like drawing. Sorry. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Also, sorry, unusual. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that I'm not taking art requests. I'm like saying mainly because, well, one, I guess I'm just not in the, mood isn't the right word. More, it's just that I don't know. I guess I have to be in the mood in order to, if I like a drawing, then I'll consider it. But even then, at that point, I rather, if I did do something like that, unless I personally know you, I think that would be the only time I would personally, unless I personally knew you and stuff, I would be willing to. But if not, it would be technically an art commission. And I'm not going to do that because, again, I'm still a beginner when it comes to art. So, yeah. Not trying to be rude or anything, just that's just how I feel about the situation. Okay. Uh, This feels so weird. There we go. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll do the job for now. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Mm. Okay, come on. Man, come on. Mm. Oh, for fuck's sakes. This would be so much easier with my other pen. Okay, maybe going the other way would do bet. Might have some better results. Okay, there we go. We'll fix it up as we go. Okay. Yeah, how does that look? That looks good. Hmm. try this line again. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Okay. That is. Kinda rough around the edges. There we go. Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Keep going here. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. There we go. There we go. That looks good. Just need to get the last piece. We'll get the hair, and then I'm gonna stretch, do some stretching. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it down to 3.5 for the hair. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, that's good. I just need to, well, rework this. Rework this just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, there we go. Mm-hmm. Ah. I think I did the curve lines just a little too wrong. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. I think the top's gonna need a bit work. So this looks a little bit on the archy side, so I'll just do this. Yeah, there we go. Just polish it up from this side. There we go. do this one. There we go. And now we just need to lighten this up just a tad bit. Oh, and then I guess this needs to be redone as well. Thought I had this pretty well done. Okay. Could be worse. There we go. Okay, not bad. Just get that. And then I'm gonna put this last strand, that little Dappa art, and I'm gonna stretch. There we go. It is definitely a choice of haircut. God, it looks awful. Okay, there. So that's the main body, well, the main head and the hair done. I think I'll start working on the fur next and the legs then. Those those will be probably the longest, and then I can work on the tail and the hair. And then I'll work on the face then. I'll do it in that order. First, need to get up and stretch. Also, welcome to anybody in the stream. Hopefully you guys are having a nice day. Originally the design for this was supposed to be a Eevee holding their food bowl. And somehow we got to this. I will admit that this was not my intentional ideal, but now we're here. And yeah. Okay. Then let us continue. I think because I used the hair for 3.5, that's what I'm gonna use for the fur as well. Okay. The goal is at least to get done with the outline today. Even if we do fall short today, I most likely will be doing another art stream tonight. Mainly because depending on if my co-host is around for Terraria, and if he's around for Terraria, then we'll be finishing off Moon Lord hopefully tonight. So yeah, so there's a chance for Terraria or more art here. And then if it's another art stream, well, depending on where I get, I guess it just depends on where I end up at the end here. Because I guess personally, if I can get done with the outline, then we just have the coloring, flat coloring. Well, flat coloring shouldn't take too terribly long. Most of my designs tend to stick to a couple of colors. Then we'll have the shading, and then we'll have some shading and some cell shading for some outlines for like the hair and stuff. And then maybe if I want to get more creative, I might try to do advanced shading, but who knows? Maybe it might not be time for that just yet. I also am a bit sorry if the artwork line work doesn't look as good. The pen I'm used to using, is on my phone and stuff. And this is the first time I'm using one on my computer. The one I have for my computer isn't exactly that good. That, and I'm not as used to it. So yeah. Probably not my best work, but hey, it is on the more creative side, horror side at least. I guess once I got doing this, the concept now is basically there's no law against Pokemon Batman. I remember like hearing a line from that in 2022. I think it's still quoted today, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Backstory? Well, not probably backstory, just captured Eevee. Mad scientist was wanting to see how far it could take evolution to the stream, and yeah, this is what came out of it. I feel like this is a bit on the tamer side. I'm like saying, I guess I could always go back to it after I get this outline done. Maybe add some, like, before I start doing the art, maybe add like a little bits of blood. I don't know if that would be. Eh, it definitely would show horror, that's for sure. But I don't think I've never done a character that was hurt before, so I would probably have to look up some references, see how to go about it. Oh yeah. Also, if you don't know, the music is all Persona music. I've been just personally using this track mainly because it's copyrighted free. I've been got instruction with it, and it's Persona music. It's rather peaceful, especially for these drawing streams. Okay, I don't want it like in a. Yeah, like that. There we go. That looks a bit better. Probably should check on how this is looking. Yeah, I'm gonna actually take a moment to get rid of all these things and okay, check on this now. Should have did this before heading on to the next area. Hmm. I'm like saying that doesn't look terrible. Granted, though, also I haven't put the rods in there yet. I might fix it up. I might fix it up if it doesn't look any better once I put the rods in there. There we go. Okay. And then over here needs to be worked on. Okay. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay. Do I have this on? I have it on pixelated. How does smooth look? Huh. Hmm. I might leave it on smooth for the time being while working on this. I think while I'm drawing stuff, pixelated is better, but when working on like the line work, I think I get a better glimpse of what is out of place when it's smooth. I think this needs just a bit more added on. Just need to erase the undesirables. And yeah. The ear is ripped off part. Doesn't look as good as I thought it was gonna look. I might redo that. I think the left side looks alright. Actually, I guess it looks decent. Hair still looks god awful, but that's besides the point. Definitely need to work on learning how to do hair better. God, it looks like a... Kind of when you look down below, it kind of looks like some type of... Kind of looks like the crest from Terraria. All I would need to do is put the like little circle thing here. Suddenly, the Eevee is now powered up. Sorry about that. Had the cough there for a second. This could use a bit of a hmm, okay, that looks better. And now here. There we go. Okay. For the time being, we have a little bit more of how we want to go about this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I don't think that's part of the design. Or Well said. Um, no. I think this was the... Okay. There we go. I'm gonna just put that away for a second so I can... So I'm not getting confused here. Oh, whoops. Okay. No. Maybe going from the side will help. Man. Okay. There we go. Okay, that looks a tad bit better. Maybe. Okay. Man. There we go. That looks better. Now fuse those into one. Make it look like it's actually in the picture itself. There we go. I'll come back and finish it up later. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. That looks better. Of course, I say that, and now say that, and now I can't even do it. There's definitely a couple of the strands I'm gonna have to go back and rework on, just so it doesn't look too bad. Okay. And I have to go from this side. go. Okay. Almost there. What else got it? That. Okay, not from that angle. This angle. There we go. Man. Oh, man, that looks good. I just need to take everything off. And work on the line work. Yeah, my fucking right arm is killing me though. Oh man, I want to keep going, but my right arm is killing me. I don't know. I'm in like a I'm at my brother's apartment right now, so there's really nowhere to sit, so I'm making progress with making do with what I have. But yeah, my words. It looks like it's coming along nicely. I'm gonna stretch again. Compared to the desk that I usually work at, which is a lot more comfy. Okay, now let's work on these lines here. Then again, no pain, no gain. But all the pain, and you're sent to the hospital with a bill that you can't afford. Any other place, you'd probably be safe. You live here in the States, get sent to the hospital, you might as well. Hell, I don't even think insurance can cover this. You have a digital pen or you use your finger? I guess this is technically a digital pen, but it's not a good one, I can tell you this. This is probably a digital pen that I found in my drawer because I don't work on a computer, and I'm pretty sure when I looked up its price, it was only like $5 for this. So it's a pretty crappy digital pen. I've been thinking about getting a new one, but it might be a while before I can do that. Mainly because, again, I don't live near a city and stuff. And if I'm gonna be looking for a digital pen and stuff, I'd rather be in person and know what I'm getting versus online. Because the chances of the pen not working and having to go through Amazon's refund thing sounds like hell. That's usually where I get most of my stuff from. But then again, I'm new to this art thing, so I don't know exactly what would fit for a digital pen. I guess it also depends on the computer I guess I'm using. I'm like saying it's getting the job done. I'll admit that I'm like saying, yeah, you can easily see it's blotching. With my when I'm doing my artwork on my phone, I never have this problem. So it's slowing me down a bit, but I've been working on this stuff for about 3 months now, so it's not anchoring me down as much. I will say it's frustrating, but it's not like it's impossible to get over. Possible. So I'll admit that I do value my pen a little bit more on the phone now. Now that I've seen how bad this one is. I think that looks actually pretty good. I don't know why I tried curving that. Also, welcome to the stream, Amiro. Hopefully you're having a nice day. Or wait, crap. Is it nighttime for you? Or, I guess, late night? I should probably should know this stuff by now. Sorry. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh. Hopefully I'm not mumbling too much. You been working on any new animations or drawings? It's finished a few and struggling to learn using a new animation app. Oh, nice. Also, what's the animation app called? A light motion. Is it a more advanced animation app than the one you were using before? Or are you just trying out are you just trying out other apps? That doesn't look like the worst thing in the world. Yeah, that looks alright. Yeah, this one you can like manipulate parts of the art you're trying to use, like puppets, and make tweaking a lot faster than uh, flip a clip, which requires you to draw frame by frame. But of course, learning isn't very easy. You're telling me? But keep at it, and I'm sure you'll produce amazing things in the future. Then I guess another thing about learning is you have to also have the drive to do it as well, though. If it's something that doesn't interest you, you're probably not going to put much effort into it. I'm enjoying the art stuff for now, but personally I still don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know. I don't know if people always have shit figured out right away, but I still don't know what I want to do with my life. Just kind of odd considering how old I am. I don't know if it's because with social media you can see everybody else's life, so it makes you feel like you're falling behind. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say art was always one of those things where I'm like saying I knew it was gonna be hard. If I ever wanted to do it, I knew it was gonna take a long time to do. So I usually just admired it from afar. And it was not until maybe recently I started picking up the pen and doing some art by myself. And yeah, I've been enjoying it for the most part. I will say, this, I will admit I will say the very start of it, it definitely was taxing. Patience is also another virtue. You know, life is like a river. It ain't stopping anytime for you, but you gotta go with the flow. Amira, I'm drowning. How can I go with the flow if I'm drowning? Well, I guess I am technically still going with the flow. I guess I just gotta flip upside down. I don't know. I don't know how to swim though. It's like a river. You gotta go with the flow, but what if you don't know how to swim? I guess besides that, bro, your name is Fun Dude. Oh yeah, that is true. Hmm. Completely forgot about that. Oh yeah, I guess I could swim. I guess I just forgot to. Silly me. Anywho, how's how are classes going for you? I'm assuming you're going into an art major. I'm assuming art major and shit. Boo boo. Oh. Die. Yeah. Oh? What gossip do you have? Teacher chose 5 candidates in my class to be mentors for classmates. Oh? Did you get picked as one? And these mentors get to choose who they get to be the mentor of. Oh. That is an interesting way of going about it. But then again, I guess it is an art class though, so I guess it would make sense. Helps out the students who may be struggling. I didn't, but this guy who I don't really like chose me one of the persons he's mentoring. Sorry, he mentors. If that sounds rough. Hopefully you're able to find. Hopefully you can find common ground with them. Oh, nice. Oh, well, you lucked out there. Talk about a close call. And I actually get to be mentor under my friend who was chose to be another mentor. Oh, nice. Damn, you really did luck out. Dang, now it just was. Nah. Oh, teacher's like, oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Whoops, I was reading the wrong name. Wrong name. But no. At least you'll have a... Whoa, what did I do there? At least it sounds like art class won't be too bad now then. Yeah. There we go. That doesn't look bad. That's looking a lot better. There we go. There we go. Okay, maybe that's a little too thin. Redo that one again. God, there's something like that. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Just make it a little bit, not too much. Maybe this side. Yeah, there we go. So I guess it's this side that I need to make just a tad bit thinner. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I actually kind of dig the way you make fluffy fur tough. You pay attention to the tiny things. Yeah, I think when I wanted, I think when I was starting out, that was probably my main issue. Was I I focused way too much on the small details, which I do like doing, but yeah, it does make artwork go a bit slower, but I don't know. I think with fur and stuff, especially when I see a lot of Eevee art and stuff. I notice how everybody can get their stuff like really fluffy, and that's kind of like what I like doing with, especially with the animals. I like to make sure that the fur, well, is actually fur on there. It's hard to put into words, but I don't know. There's just something where if I don't do it, it it annoys me. That, and I think the more I draw, I think the better I'm getting. Like at the very beginning, like these little details, I probably wouldn't have even been doing. Whereas I'm making like lines a little bit smaller to make them look like they have a better curve. Hell, I think with the tutorial one, I was even putting like shadows under, like I was working them and playing around with shadows like underneath the eyes and the blankets and that kind of stuff. Also, thank you. I think I was also gonna say, I think the thing's on repeat now. I think the only other thing is kind of hard is to find actual music that isn't copyrighted. This Persona music works wonders, but hopefully I can find some other music that isn't copyrighted. So far, everything else I've used in a couple of their streams have gotten hit. Hmm. Yeah, shorter line, and then we'll have it like a bigger, yeah, bigger line. I don't bring this one up much, but a good artist that I know of is Finny. Ice was the one who was talking about it. Their art is really well done. Um, it's such simple art as well, but it looks so well done, especially with the line curves and stuff. I liked his like line curves. So in a sense, I kind of, I guess not, I guess I wouldn't say go right. I guess I would say, I guess I technically copied, but kind of kept a keen idea of how he's able to like make line works at the very bottom and stuff to make it look more natural. Plus even though I'm not subscribed to him, his pictures keep somehow getting into my feed and stuff, so I usually get to. So I've seen a bunch of his stuff, of his work. Hmm. Eh, hmm. Have like a curve there and see what that does. I would say the other thing is jealousy is a strong emotion, which is a weird thing because even if you don't know a person at all, you can still feel jealousy towards them, which makes no sense at all of why you would even feel that, considering like the person doesn't know you obviously, and you don't even know them as well. So it's kind of weird when you think about it. Then again, maybe it's because they're in a better position than you. They're doing stuff that you want to do. So maybe this hard thing is something I want to do. Hmm, never thought of it like that. Of course, most of the times when I think this stuff through, I don't really have the time. Work keeps me way too busy, if not close to almost exhausted from just dealing with mainly customers all day. Some aren't bad, but man, the job can be a bit too much at some points. Thank God I never went into food retail. I've heard heard horror stories about how bad that is. But then again, I think customers would be a lot more irritated in the food industry a little bit more, mainly because you're making their food and stuff. Mm. There we go. Oh, I actually like that. I think I might have to shorten this down a bit. There we go. I actually like that a lot more. That actually looks really good. And just have this go off the neck. Looks pretty good. Hey. And here I thought I was gonna be able to get the entire I don't know why I thought I was gonna be able to get the entire line work done today, but honestly, this is probably the hardest part. Legs aren't as bad, but honestly, fur is definitely what takes me the longest to do. I'll do the rest of the legs. I'll admit that the bottom is kind of annoying me, the curves and stuff, but I'll wait until I put the paws on and everything. I'll see how that looks first before I do it. Hmm. But now, keep working on this. There we go. That looks a tad bit more natural. And there we go. I'm gonna work on this one just a tad bit more. Yeah, there we go. Just make that a tad bit. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, there we go. But no, I think fur is definitely my favorite part of drawing. Definitely hard to do, but honestly, once you get it done and get it the way you really like, it looks so good. Oh, hold on. Whoops, almost missed something here. I also like the fact that now I can actually look at a picture a bit more and can tell where something is wrong now. Because there are definitely points in this where when I was starting out, there's no way how I would have been able to spot like these little markings at all. Mm, hopefully I wasn't rushing too much here. Again, I really do think patience is is definitely a virtue when doing art. Thankfully, I have a I wish to think I have a bit of it, more than the average person does, that's for sure. No, I think I ruined that. Okay, let's see, how does that look? It looks a little thrown off. Something like that, maybe? A little bit less fur there. Yeah, okay, that looks a little bit better. But yeah, no, it does pay off really good. There's especially a couple of paintings that, well, drawings I've seen of just basically fur alone, and it's really well damn good. Okay, well then, I think for the time being, I'll start working on the pause, and then we'll see how far I can get in there. And then depending on, again, tonight, if Jalen's on for Terraria tonight, we'll basically be finishing up Moon Lord, hopefully tonight. And if he's not on tonight, I'll continue with working on this then. And then tomorrow, again, if he doesn't, then if not, then tomorrow. It just depends on his scheduling. I think he needed to get a part for his TV. He needed to get a new TV thing, so it'll be a while before we start playing Pell World. So in the meantime, I think if I do Terraria tonight, I'll do the art stream tomorrow then, and then I'll bounce it back between the Rizless route for Deltarune and this art until we finish either one. I really should make a timetable and stuff of what I'm doing. It probably would help out a lot. But it's If I'm doing solo stuff, it's not as bad. At least then I can plan it out from there. But having some working with someone else is definitely a bit harder, especially when we're on opposite schedules. We both work in the retail business. So yeah, we never know when all of a sudden we're going to be dragged out. I usually say yes to my shifts because I do need the money. But it does take me away from this stuff though. It just does suck. Oh yeah, I also did mention that I was going to go back to 4.5 once I got done with the fur. Or should I? Well, I don't think I put any fur on the... I wonder... I wonder if I should put a bit of fur on the legs. I think for now, for the paws / legs here, I'll just draw them as I have them now. But I might add some details once I get done with it. I know I'm probably doing this out of order, but yeah. Yeah. Out of order, but this is usually how I do my artwork and stuff. Or at least from what I've been told. Okay. I think I'm just gonna leave it off there for the time being. For the most part, this is coming down pretty well. The legs are the next hardest part, and then I just got the tail and the denim. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have this done soon. But yeah, so I want to thank Amira. Thank you for sticking around for, I believe, the half of the stream. Thank you for sticking around and, well, probably falling asleep as well to the stream. I do appreciate it. And unusual, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Doesn't help that I got a phone call in the middle of that, so I didn't get to explain to you right away. But like I said before, if I'm gonna draw people, I'm probably gonna do it in a commission form because again, my time is precious to me, especially considering I do lack a lot of time now these days. So any second I'm not doing something I want, I feel like it's just I wouldn't say it's a burden, but I'm like saying I'm gonna need to be compensated, but I'm not gonna do that to you because again, I'm an amateur artist right now, only 3 months in, and I'm not gonna ask for commissions. I don't know. I don't think it's right to do that right now. Maybe in the future. No, nothing is out of order. Everyone does things differently, except if you make the drawing first and then make the sketch. Something definitely happened there if you do this. Hey, look, that might just be because I had a premonition, Amira, in my dreams and that kind of shit. Yeah, shit. But yeah, for now, this is where I'm gonna stave off. And again, it just depends on if Jalen's on tonight. If he isn't on tonight, then we'll continue with our stream. If he is on, we'll be doing Terraria tonight. But with that being said, thank you, Amira. Thank you, Unusual. And thank you, everybody else who came out for the stream. But with that being said, have a nice day or /night. See ya.